Well, hi there and welcome along to another edition of What's the Word in association with Ladbrokes. Joining me this week, we'll often talk about Brendan Dukey's wardrobe, but you got your summer haircut today, Dukey. 2-for-1 job.
Yes, well, feel the fear and do it anyway, Tom. I'll do it after about 6 months. I've been thinking about doing this for my last 4 haircuts, and then I just did it.
Yes. I'm impressed.
Inspired by maybe the aerodynamics of the Tour de France in the last day or so, perhaps.
Maybe that was it, yeah.
What's most important here, has it changed your popularity on Tinder? Have you changed the picture?
I haven't changed the picture.
Change the picture.
Wait for this update.
This is like Crystal Ocean going from being beaten in the St. Ledger to being like Group 1.
Well, I could maybe tap into that women who are attracted to cavemen market.
Okay.
You've nailed it.
James, how are you?
Yeah, all good. Still celebrating Wexford's Leinster, but hopefully we'll be celebrating again at the weekend.
James, that was 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, James.
You're worse than Shane Lowry.
Yeah, I've been waiting 15 years for it, so.
And Jed is back as well. You all right?
If Wexford win, are you going to shave? Or are you just going to...
You're going to have to go like Dukey.
If Wexford win, I say I could be
You're
on the missing list for a while. Yeah, I could end up a caveman if Wexford win.
Yeah, well, speaking of excessive celebrations, looking forward to next week, one of the weeks of the year, Galway and Goodwood upon us. We're just going to get a horse each, for horse from you for each of the festivals. Go on, Dukey, so we'll start with you. Glorious Goodwood, I'm refusing to go on anyone else, and Galway.
Okay, Glorious Goodwood. The 225 on Wednesday is a good 3-year-old handicap over a 1.5 miles, and there's a horse I have my eye on called Durston, but he does want cut in the ground. Now, we'll discuss this later on. I've got some news for you, Tom Malone, but there's going to be 20 mils of rain in Goodwood tomorrow, and then they're going to get 6 mils on the Tuesday, so I think he'll get the bit of cut in the ground that he needs. Definitely a well-handicapped horse going places.
Is this from your Norwegian weather sources?
It is indeed.
Yeah, you love those lads.
I'm not if not consistent, Tom. And then in Galway, Hamley. Been a frustrating experience for Hamley backers the last twice. I count myself amongst those. She's been involved in races where there's been no pace. What she wants is a good, strong pace. Now, an extended mile might be on the sharp side for her, but it's a savage climb up that Galway hill. Yeah. She should get a good toe into the race. She travels well over 10 furlongs.
And something will kick on the home turn for her to follow as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to be getting 16, 20 to 1. I could definitely see her hitting the ball.
Topaz Mile?
It is the BMW mile, but yeah, that mile.
Yeah, he's got his eye on the Colin Quinn cards. Go on, James, one each.
I went for 2 on Wednesday, the 3 o'clock at Goodwood, sorry. Alligator Alley. I know this is a horse I think a lot of at home, and I think he'll improve on an impressive win at Navan last time. He's priced up around about 12 to 1 for that race. And then 8 o'clock on Galway, I've pushed the boat out here. I went for a handicap. It is Balefire.
Well, your favourite race is the Pretemps, so you're
allowed.
The
Pretemps, yeah. So I went with Balefire for Michael O'Callaghan here. He's a horse on the improve, and I don't think a £3 rise is going to be enough to stop him.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Your good self?
One against Dukey in that big mile handicap on Tuesday. Very rare you see Mark Johnson with entries at Galway, and he's got Rufus King in that mile handicap down to a mark of 89. Just think Galway is tailor-made for him. He's going to be the one that's going to kick off the home bend, a bit like Brendan Bracken did a few years ago. Just off 89, I always thought he had the potential to be a stakes horse, so he could be interesting. And I still think Coney Island is a class horse in the Galway plate. He's unpredictable and he's inconsistent, but he goes really well fresh. I think a right-handed track, 2 mile 6 should be perfect. And he's only 8. Lord,
it's kind of incredible to think that he is only 8, isn't it?
I know, it's unbelievable. So I thought he was a big price of 14 to 1 during the week, and won at Goodwood in the Lennox Stakes on Tuesday. I just think One Master is a 7 furlong specialist. She just doesn't. She probably gets 7 furlongs and 3/4. Yeah, no,
I'd say 7 furlongs and maybe 10
yards.
Yeah,
even she just doesn't get the mile as we saw in the Queen Anne. But I think over 7 at Goodwood is perfect for her. So I think she's got a cracking chance.
Good stuff. I like Innisfree at Galway, absolute certainty. Anyway, because I'm going to give you all winners. Let's
move on. Fire last week, quite
I had some, thank you very much. Definitely up there in my list of my favourite horses now at this stage. Right, on to the King George at 3:40 on Saturday at Ascot. The race of the flat season so far?
Yep. Yeah, cracker, really love it. I like the way there's loads of different angles, and it's the old-fashioned 3-year-old Derby winner against your top older horses. And in Crystal Ocean and Enable, you've got 2 of the best we've seen for quite a while. Like the ratings are bizarre, really. Like I suppose Enable is right on what she's done in the last maybe 16 months. Yeah. And not what she did, what preceded it. But I still think she's a better filly than Crystal Ocean. I know it was only a small field and it was a duel at Kempton, but I thought that day on the all-weather she proved that she's far better than them. So I think she will be Crystal Ocean. The one that I thought was too big of a price, And I watched the Prince of Wales Stakes again. I think Volgeist is too big of a price. I do.
Yeah.
Nothing went right from there. He was lethargic. He was the first off the bridle. He still ran on quite strongly.
Do you not find you could apply that to Volgeist a lot, though?
You could, yeah. But if you look at last year's arc, I thought he was very unlucky. The gap sitting open on the inside. His form over a mile and a half on right-handed tracks is exceptional.
Yeah.
It's obviously not as good as Enable, but he's 20-1 and Enable is 4-6. I think he'll sneak into the tree.
How many runners are we looking for?
There's 10. So,
So we can still get each way without.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry.
I think he's a better horse than he proved the last day. I think he's underrated. I think Walgeist will run an absolute big. Like I think he could shake up Enable.
Well, okay, calm down. How do they bet, James?
It's 4-7 for Enable. Kristen Ocean is at 11-4. Anthony Van Dyke 8-1. Defoe 12. Walgeist is at 14-1. 33-1 Cheval Grand and 50-1 or bigger about the rest of them.
Brendan Duke, are you going to make some ludicrous case that Enable's going to get turned over here?
Well, it's the Eclipse 2.0 B, and Crystal Ocean is in the magical role for the Badge Way punters, and I didn't think Magical could beat her. I do think Crystal Ocean could beat her. He's a proper horse, and he's just an improving horse, and he won't mind what the ground does. I mean, we're predicted 30 mils of rain, so we're looking at probably heavy ground here tomorrow, which is slightly ruined.
You're this much away from a Met Aaron blog at the moment, aren't you? I mean, I see the monthly podcast, so you probably get a kick on that.
I'm glad you're sitting down at the moment, because this is how bad things are. 10 mils in Newmarket tomorrow. In Newmarket.
Can't deal with that.
It's going to happen, Tom. It's going to happen. 10 mils in Newmarket. So I think Crystal Ocean, 11-4 each way, you're effectively turning them into a 7-8-1 shot if you don't think he'd be out of the frame, which I don't. And I think that's worth a bet. She'll obviously be hard to beat. You wouldn't be at all concerned she might bounce. She gave herself a hard enough race in the Eclipse, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I thought she kind of dossed through the first sort of 6-7 furlongs and did what she wanted. And then...
She's just better than him, though, isn't she?
Well, she is, but I don't think the ratings are as wildly wrong as you do.
But they're wrong. It's kind of being kind of pregnant. Like.
Well, I mean, even the ratings are still saying she'll win because of the fillies allowance. Yeah. But I don't think there's that much between them. I think he's one of the great each way bets.
Do you think we could be in for a classic King George battle here the whole way?
I do. I think you can really pull it up to her.
Do you think if they get into a battle too soon, some absolute rag could go and nip this?
Volgeist.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I was struggling past the front two. I really was.
Okay. You're let's
no,
go.
Enable will win, and Crystal Ocean
okay.
will probably be second, but I do think Volgeist will finish in the tree.
Okay. You're going to back him each way or each way without?
Each way without.
Okay. Proper. I love that, Jenna. I love that.
Get a bit of 13-2, 7-1.
Yeah, that's a cracker. What about you? Who are you going with? Who are you going with, James?
Enable.
Enable. Okay. And you're putting up the forecast? You're going to reverse the forecast? Or you're just going to go Crystal Ocean each way?
Just make a positive equity decision and back Crystal Ocean each way.
Okie doke. Let's move on to the Sky Bet York Stakes then. Group 2 contest, obviously at York on Saturday. How do they bet for this one, James? Yeah,
Regal Reality is at 11-8. That's your favourite now. Adabe 9-2. Bangkok is at 9-2. Ellercam at 5-1, and it's 10s or bigger about the rest of them.
I'll bring in Jerry Fleming here from Met Aaron. Who are you going to tip up? What's the weather going to be like at York first?
22 million.
22 mils. Okay.
Important stuff.
Very important stuff. I mean, you're giving us...
if you want to back a Dave.
And what did you do just before the show?
I backed a Dave.
Okay. Right. So if there is a market move before this goes on air, we can attribute it to one particularly aerodynamic man. Right. Go on. And are you going to tip up a Dave then?
Good one. I am going to tip up a Dave. I mean, he was devastating in Ascot in the greatest listed race ever run. What a farce that's a list.
Yeah,
but anyway, he was so impressive. The form has had a boost since and will continue to be boosted because it's brilliant form. Just really proper horse for cutting the ground, borderline Group 1 horse. Regal Reality will handle the ground, but his improvement has come on better ground, so that would be a concern. 11-8, 9-2.
He's a headbanger too. Do you know
Regal Reality? Yeah, he was such a mess of that night in Sandown, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he seems to be, he seems to have turned the corner, but geez, he's a show price.
Yeah, a Dave at 9-2.
A Dave at 9-2, yeah, absolutely. The thieves bad if ever there was one. Go on.
Well,
Jenna,
actually, all week I was fancying Ellercam because
I
just thought York would suit on quicker ground, and I know he's got a lot of lengths to find on.
Do you not get the weather update?
Yeah, but
sorry.
Like he's okay. Like I thought he travelled too well at Ascot behind the Dave, and I thought Dave picked up the pieces. If he did settle early and the ground wasn't like like Thurles on a Thursday in December, as you're predicting. I think he's got every chance of reversing that form. So it would be Ellerkamp for me.
It's nothing to do with me. It's the Norwegians.
Yeah, but it's
Shoot
your
the
fault.
messenger. Don't shoot the
Ever
messenger.
since you shaved that head, it's just been all negative.
You with Ellerkamp?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. Right, let's move on to the other suggestions and selections on Saturday. You got a couple to ask at you guys, so I think
Yes.
you're going to head to head in at 3 o'clock, are you?
Yeah, I'm going first because my case is better. In the 3 o'clock, yeah, Saeed bin Surur, okay, obviously has had a
Don't
very
know.
stop-start season.
Was he
okay?
5? I was actually sorry to interrupt you, but was he 5 King George winners? Including the likes of, Lamtara and Swain, and just think, now what horse are you going to make case for?
Okay, well, just for viewers, I would suggest over the next fortnight, this could be a way of making a few quid. His horses are really coming into form. He's had 19 runners in the last fortnight, 7 winners, 3 seconds, 3 thirds. They're all running well, and they're not just favourites. He says a 6-1 winner of a good handicap at Newmarket as well, who I thought was pretty highly rated and looked to have plenty to do. But Land of Legends creeps in here, number 28. First run the handicap, he dug really deep to win at Newmarket. He's only gone up £5 for that. He's off 96. Callum Shepherd is riding well. He's drawn in stall 20, which I think will be okay as well. And if you go back to his debut run, he was second to King of Comedy at Yarmouth. I thought after that he'd turn into a group performer. It's been a little bit of a slow process, but I think he's the ideal type for this race. The group performer masquerading as a handicapper, he's down the bottom. I thought a double figure price, or around 9 or 10 to 1 about Land of Legends, was great value.
Do you have one in that race as well?
Cut
Cheeky?
sand. It's all coming up the sand. As a brief aside, Saeed bin Surur wouldn't train pigs to be dirty. But that's just
Well, he will in the next
That's
fortnight.
just a counterpoint to that argument. But
Yeah, it is wonderful to get horses that are bred to win group races in at the bottom of handicaps. Yeah, absolutely. Go on.
But raising sand, loves Ascot, loves deep ground. Gets Ascot, gets deep ground. He was a perfectly good third in the Royal Hunt Cup. Handicappers left him alone. Has to go close. Knock and bet each way.
Fair enough. Elsewhere, I'd ask you, like one late on in the 5:20, Juki?
Yeah, Kiefer. I am a bit worried about the ground. I wanted a little bit of dig in the ground, but not this. Now, he's by Poor Moi out of a Linamix mare, which screams... Yeah, I mean, you've got the Monjo on one side and Linamix on the other. It does scream deep ground.
I assume she's an action like a...
He does. He moves like a horse who wants a bit of cut. I thought it was just quick enough for him in Salisbury last day. He ran around a bit. Now, he's only just learning the game, and he got £6 for finishing second, but that was a proper 3-year-old handicap. He gets his 3-year-old allowance tomorrow. I think if he handles the ground, he's one of the better handicapped horses in England, and he'd win.
And you got a selection for us at Ascot as well, in the 4:15. Go on.
Yeah, it is the Wold Ridge Group Pat Edery Stakes, and I just think the Chesham at Ascot was an incredible race. The horse who we fight over the pronunciation every week, Pinatubo.
Pinatubo, we'll go with that, yeah.
I practiced all week. Lupi Fernandez was second. The horses that have been well beaten have won since. And Sun Power, I thought ran really well. 33 to 1 shot that day. Ran on into fourth. I think he's quite good. I think when he won his maiden on the all-weather, he did it in spite of being green, in spite of being keen. And to me, he looks like a real progressive type. I thought he was better than a listed horse. He's rated 93 here. He's surely a double figure rated horse. And my other selection is in the first race at York on the Saeed bin Surur team. I think
absolutely.
a lot of his horses are well handicapped. As you said, they're bred to be so much better.
Yeah,
and now that his horses are coming into form, it's actually called the Get Knotted handicap. And Get Knotted is in the race and he's favoured. And he's a horse I've tipped numerous occasions. But I just think he's just fallen out of love with the game. He's under pressure too early in races. And Bedouin Story, I think he takes a drop in class here. He's a 3-time winner. York will suit him. The ground should be ideal. And to me, off 94, he's just used to running better races. I think he's got a cracking chance here. It'll be around 6 or 7 to 1 Bedouin Story in the 205 at York.
Good stuff. On to the pre-Rothschild on Sunday. Quickly, you have a selection in this one, Brendan Duke.
I thought East was interesting, and she could be a price. Got a shocking ride in the French Guineas, could have won that, and then the ground was too quick for her in the Curragh. She'll get a bit of ease in the ground in Deauville tomorrow, and will be a price, and will run well.
East, I think, be in the pre-Rothschild?
Yeah, I think that's got a big chance, yeah. I wouldn't... it's probably a watching race, but I think East could be interesting, better than it showed at the Curragh.
And as the racing on Sunday is rather moderate, anything else for either Monday or Tuesday at Galway? Like I said, I'm popping up Innisfree here, just FYI.
No, not particularly. Just the couple that I mentioned earlier. Probably Saturday and Sunday is the time to go through the Galway race, I think.
Good stuff. Anything for you on Monday or Tuesday at Galway?
Not at all, Tom. I hope he doesn't come dropping slow for you, the old Innisfree.
I like what you did there. He's too classy
Quite
for the
clever,
rest
yeah.
of us. Right, let's get our best bets of the weekend then here on What's the Word. And just a reminder, of course, we'll be back pretty much every day of Galway and Goodwood next week as well, on course in Galway. So look forward to that. Brendan Duke, your best bets of the weekend.
My best
Trixie,
bet
please.
of the weekend and a traditional Trixie. A Dave will be the linchpin. I'll nap him in the 3:15 in York. I will also stick in Raising Sand in the 3 o'clock in Ascot and Kiefer in the 5:20 Ascot.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with an Able in the King George, and then I'm going to take on these two in the 3 o'clock at Ascot with Vale of Kent, and the 2:30 at Goran Festina Plenty.
Good stuff.
In the Land of Legends in the 3 o'clock at Ascot, Sun Power in the 4:15 at Ascot, and Bedouin Story in the 2:05 at York.
Good stuff. I'm looking forward to Enable, Ellercam and Innisfree early next week at Galway as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again all next week at Galway for more What's the Word.